In this video today we will discuss the revolutionary role of Samuel Adams. The American Revolution was not only a military struggle but also a battle of ideas, organization, and public persuasion. Among the leaders who shaped the revolutionary spirit of the 13 colonies, Samuel Adams stands out as one of the most influential. Known as the "father of the American Revolution," Adams played a central role in mobilizing public opinion, organizing resistance, and laying the ideological foundations for independence. His contributions were not confined to fiery speeches or writings. They extended to grassroots organizing, political leadership, and bold defiance against British authority. Early life and political awakening. Born in 1722 in Boston, Massachusetts, Samuel Adams came from a family that valued education, religion, and civic duty. He studied at Harvard, where his exposure to Enlightenment ideas deepened his belief in individual liberty and the rights of citizens. His father's conflict with British authorities over land bank policies also shaped his suspicion of centralized power. These early experiences sowed the seeds of Adams's political radicalism and his lifelong opposition to British interference in colonial affairs. Adams is a master of propaganda. One of Samuel Adams's most significant contributions was his ability to influence public opinion. Through essays, pamphlets, and newspaper articles, he framed British policies as threats to colonial liberties. Writing under pseudonyms, he argued that taxation without representation violated the natural rights of the colonists. His writings were persuasive not only because of their intellectual arguments but also because they appealed to the emotions and religious convictions of ordinary people. Adams helped transform grievances into a moral cause, portraying resistance to Britain as both a political necessity and a sacred duty. The Sons of Liberty and grassroots organization. Adams was a founding member of the Sons of Liberty, a secret society formed to oppose the Stamp Act and other forms of British taxation. Under his leadership, the group organized protests, boycotts, and demonstrations. While some of these activities involved direct action, such as tarring and feathering tax collectors, Adams used them to build solidarity among colonists. By giving common people a role in the resistance movement, he ensured that opposition to Britain was not confined to elites but became a mass movement. Role in the Boston Tea Party. Perhaps the most iconic act of defiance associated with Adams was the Boston Tea Party of 1773. Britain's Tea Act allowed the East India Company to sell tea at reduced prices but retained the hated tax, which Adams saw as a dangerous precedent. He and the Sons of Liberty organized the dramatic protest in which colonists disguised as Native Americans boarded ships and dumped tea into Boston Harbor. Although Adams did not physically take part, he was instrumental in planning and defending the action. He argued that it was not lawlessness but a legitimate stand against tyranny, thus shaping how history would view the event. Political leadership in the Continental Congress. Adams was not only an agitator, he was also a statesman. He served in the Massachusetts legislature and later represented the colony at the First and Second Continental Congresses. There, he worked tirelessly to persuade hesitant delegates that reconciliation with Britain was impossible. Alongside his cousin John Adams, he pushed for independence long before it became a consensus. His influence helped ensure that Massachusetts remained at the forefront of the revolutionary cause. Adams's vision of liberty. Unlike some revolutionaries who sought independence primarily for economic reasons, Adams viewed liberty as a moral and spiritual principle. He believed that unchecked power inevitably led to corruption and tyranny. This conviction made him one of the most uncompromising advocates of independence. Even when others hesitated, Adams insisted that freedom was worth every sacrifice. His writings often emphasized that liberty was not merely a political privilege but a God-given right that no government could take away. Legacy. After independence was won, Samuel Adams continued to serve in politics, eventually becoming governor of Massachusetts. However, his greatest legacy lies in his role as a revolutionary organizer and thinker. He transformed colonial discontent into a coordinated movement, inspiring both leaders and ordinary citizens to commit themselves to the cause of freedom. Without his tireless efforts to stir resistance, unify the colonies, and articulate the principles of liberty, the American Revolution might not have taken the course it did.